Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, back out on the Mississippi River with my good friend Neil. We're doing a little wing dam hopping and pitching jigs and catching some great fish. Now I've gotten a lot of questions about how exactly do I fish a jig, and I'd like to address that question in today's video. So after a few catches, meet me back at this picnic table and we'll talk about how I fish a jig. Let's get into the fishing. Oh, nice. There is some smallies active. I wonder if that's what I had. You want a net? You got him. Looks like you got it pretty good. Oh. I just got thumped. I was waiting for you to show off your fish there.
That's how smallie. You got here.
Wait, hang on to yours. Maybe we got a double here. I got a walleye. It's not a bad double.
Nope. Multi-species double there.
On a wing dam. Alright, we found a few fish. Nice little wing dam here. With some wood and some rock and just the right amount of current. So I'm going to use this line to represent my fishing line. Hopefully you can see that just fine. It's a little bit heavier lines. For example, my right hand is going to be the fishing rod. My left hand is going to be the jig. So we're going to be anchored just above the wing dam, probably casting distance away. I don't want to cast into the rocks, but I want to cast just ahead of the rocks on the upstream side. I cast out, my jig hits the water, and it's slowly falling. This is where I want to keep my rod tip steady. And as I watch that line, as the jig's falling, when that jig hits the bottom, I'll see that line go slack like that. Then I know the jig is on the bottom, and I want to get that jig lifted up off the bottom, either by raising my rod tip and reeling, or by just simply reeling. So I'll lift that jig up, and that jig will be slowly hovering above the bottom, and then it'll slowly start to make its way back down to the bottom. And when it hits, you'll see that line go slack. So it's very important during this process that you keep your rod tip steady, because if your rod tip's moving, you aren't going to see that subtle movement of your line going slack when the jig hits the bottom. And essentially what you're doing is your jig is going to be hopping from the bottom to a floating position, bottom to a floating position, all the way back to the boat. And what you're watching for on that fall is for that line to jump like that, or you'll feel in your rod that fish hitting, and that's when you want to set the hook immediately. You don't let them take the bait. As soon as you feel something suspicious, like a little tick or a tap or any change in how that jig's falling, you want to set the hook. So cast out, let that jig fall, watch your line, watch your line, watch your line. It'll go slack. You're going to lift that jig up, and then it's going to fall, and it's going to go slack. You're going to lift that jig up, and it's going to fall. It's going to go slack. I like to get that jig coming back up off the bottom immediately after it hits the bottom, because if there's a fish following it and it hits the bottom, he may leave instantly when he doesn't see it jump back up. But if there is a fish following it, it hits the bottom, you get it going immediately, you'll get that reaction strike. Now you can use this with any type of bait. If you can get this method down, you can use anything that sinks. A jig, a blade bait, a rip and wrap, even a spoon, a jigging spoon of sorts. Once you get the method down, all you need is a bait that'll get to the bottom. Now if you're not seeing this slack in your line when the jig hits the bottom, you may be too light and you need to put a heavier jig on. If you are unable to get the jig to hop up off the bottom, then you might be too heavy and you want to go a little bit lighter. With the flow the way it is in the Mississippi right now, I've been using 1/4 ounce pretty much everywhere. Occasionally I'll throw on a 3/8 ounce. Give this a try. If you can master this technique, you're going to catch a lot more fish. I hope this demonstration of how to fish a jig made sense. Let's now look at it in an actual fishing situation. There's a fish. Oh, I thought we were doubled up. This one might be a smallmouth. Oh, nice walleye. Nice walleye. You want to put a net on him?
Yeah.
I guess it's not really ready, is it? You have to turn it. There you go. There we go. We're doing the wing dam thing here. And catching some fish. That's a great looking fish. Big male fish. Neil got a nice smallmouth, lost another, and the walleyes are eating the fluke. Gorgeous. Bait I'm using in today's video is the liquid Willowcat fluke. It's an awesome bait. I've been catching a ton of fish on this bait. The purple with the chartreuse tail has been one of my favorites. The fish just love them. I've been using those with like a 1/4 ounce jig head or a 3/8. I like to use the jig heads with the wire shank and then a plastic keeper on it. This one I think is an eagle claw, and this one is a VMC. But a lot of jig heads have the built up lead around the shank. I don't like those because the fluke is narrow in this point, and I like it to be able to slide easily over the shank of the hook. So 3/8, 1/4 ounce is going to cover you in most situations on the Mississippi River fishing wing dams. Pick some up and give them a try. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Fish. What is this? Walleye. No, that's a smallie. I got a smallie. There we go. There it is. My first smallie of the open water season. Probably my earliest smallmouth ever. Same with you, I presume.
Oh, yeah.
February smallmouth. Unheard of. Pay attention in this clip how I cast out just above the wing dam, and I keep my rod tip steady as I allow the jig to hit the bottom. When I notice it hits the bottom, I immediately start to reel up a little bit of line. This lifts the jig up off the bottom. I again wait till the jig slowly falls back to the bottom. I watch for the line to go limp, and then I quickly reel up a little bit of line. Eventually I feel that fish hit and set the hook. Fish.
Big old smallie.
Feels like a big old smallie. Head shakes. That's a walleye.
And it came up like that. I thought for sure. No.
Good walleye.
Big old white. Good fish.
Real good. All the walleyes today have been pretty nice. Might be the one of the day though, right there. Go. Smash that fluke again. The old tried and true. I don't know if that color is hot or just that fluke. He wasn't getting off. As you can see in the picture, the wing dam is pretty easily identifiable today by the ripples in the water. We are anchoring just above the wing dam and casting towards it. I usually like to keep the boat within casting distance of the wing dam, and I'll work up and down the wing dam the full length of it to find which depth those fish are hanging out in.
The very first time we kind of looked at it.
They're in shallow. That thing was so shallow. This might be a bass. I don't know, it didn't even get to the bottom. Typically midday they're going to be out in the deeper end, and in the early morning and in the evening they're going to be in shallower. So work the whole wing dam. Don't spend too much time. If you don't catch any fish, head on to the next wing dam. Continue that process until you find a wing dam that is holding fish. Running out of daylight, but we are on our best wing dam of the day. They're still chomping that fluke. He was in ultra shallow. That can't be more than 4 or 5 feet up there. It's a nice eater size.
Probably should at this point.
Do you want one, Walleye?
One, and hopefully I catch one.
Fish. Thing was right on the wing dam. It's a good walleye. Or a smallmouth. It's a walleye. Go right on top of that wing dam. Chomped it. Hey guys, thank you so much for sticking it out to the end of the video. We really appreciate all your comments, likes, and subscriptions, so keep those coming. You know, give these wing dams a try. Don't get frustrated. Keep hopping wing dam to wing dam. They are not all created equally. Once you find a good one, use these jigging techniques that we described today, and I guarantee you, you're gonna catch more fish. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. We enjoyed making it. Good luck out there fishing, and we'll see you out on the water.